All right, the day is finally here. It is the last day of January 2022, the 31st. 31 days of intermittent fasting, eating junk food and fast food or whatever in the heck I want it. All comes down to what happens on the scale today. Will I be successful? I don't know. We're going to find out right now. Alright, let's get the magic talking scale cranked up.
Hello. Please step on the scale.
Let's step on it. Oh. I messed it up. I gotta wait till it starts talking. Hope I didn't mess it all the way up. I do this every time.
Your weight is 389.6 pounds.
Alright, so we'll settle for that. I wanted 20 pounds of weight loss for the month. I'm just gonna have to settle for 19. Oh, I almost pulled it off. Almost pulled it off. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel good. You don't know how good that makes me feel. I work hard for that, y'all. That's a month's worth of work I put into this. So at this point, I need to know, should I change things up or should I keep going the way I am? Should I implement calories some days and some days not? Should I? I think I'm just going to keep things the way they are, but on certain days, some days when I can get away with it, I think I'm just going to eat one meal a day. Once or twice a week. We'll shoot for once a week to start with. And if I feel like it, I'll go more, but I think we'll keep doing things the same, but I think I'm going to try to sneak in a one meal day every week. Yeah, probably do more than one. 7 days in a week. I'll try to at least do 2 a week. How's that sound? 2 one day, 1 meal days, 2 days a week. I try to get my body in a habit of being used to that. And if I like how that feels, we may do more than 2 a week. But I'm going to try to shoot for 2 a week for now. Not starting today, though. Not starting today. Today is a day of celebration. We lost 19 pounds over the month. We were shooting for 20. We got 19. I can't be disappointed about that. I can't be disappointed about that because that pound is going down this week no matter what. But you won't see that till next Monday. At next Monday's weigh-in. But, man. 19 pounds in a month. Almost made it to 20. Yeah, it was 19.6, all it would have took would be 0.7 more pounds, and I'd have been right there at 308. But hey, 309 is good. 309 is real good. We'll take it. Alright, dig in. All right, so later that afternoon, after we got done at Applebee's, which what you were looking at there was a bourbon bacon cheeseburger. And man, was it good. I'm telling you what, it was good. And then we got that ice cream, I think it's called a butter pecan brownie. The dessert is called a blondie. And we seem to get that and share it every time we go to Applebee's. Which isn't very often because food is expensive these days. Let's face it, it's expensive, and but hey, what can you do? You only get there every once in a while. You gotta share a blondie, right? That dessert is amazing. Scoop of vanilla ice cream on top of that blondie, that brownie, that butter pecan brownie, and then they give you that white chocolate gravy, a ganache, or whatever you call it, and it's got sweetened pecans on there, and it's just delicious. We can't help it. We got to get that every time. So that's what you were looking at there. Very good food at Applebee's. And later this afternoon, we went to a buffet style restaurant. You've seen me eat there a couple times in the past if you've been keeping up with my videos. It is a black owned restaurant, and they cook southern soul food in there, and their buffet is very neat, very clean, and the food is extra good. You get things in there like today I got what did I get? I got a piece of fried cube steak and white gravy on top of that, and they had fried squash. Oh my god, that fried squash was amazing. And they had some fried okra. It was hot too. And they just brought it out. It was hot. That broccoli was so hot it was like lava in my mouth, but it was so good. And they had these meatballs, and the meatballs were sauteed in Carolina style barbecue sauce. If you've never had Carolina barbecue sauce, you need to look that up and get some. You are in for a treat. And the one I recommend that you try is Carolina Sweet, made by Sticky Fingers. I think you can go on Amazon and places like that and get it. It's a mustard based barbecue sauce, but it doesn't taste like mustard anymore. It's kind of a tangy sweet barbecue sauce, and it's so good on chicken and pork, like pulled pork, cooked from a Boston butt and shredded and added to that. It is so good. It's the best barbecue sauce around. If you've never tried it, you're in for a treat. I highly recommend you do. I like the red sauce. I like all barbecue sauces, by the way, but that Carolina Sweet, man, that stuff is good. Okay, so and I got a salad. I felt like I needed to get some vegetables in me, and when I make a salad there, I put everything in it from banana peppers, mushrooms, black olives, green olives, jalapeno peppers, dill pickles. They got dill pickle chips on the bar, and I put some ham and some cheddar cheese on there. This time I put some bacon bits on there. I put some sunflower seeds on there. And I topped it off with some pepperonis this time. And I did not eat it all. Once I got through that plate of fried food, I ate as much of that salad as I possibly could. But and let me tell you, I put a hurting on it. I didn't leave much. I left a good decent little bit, but I didn't leave much. And this is what that looked like. Alright, so day 31 is a complete and utter success of my weight loss journey for the entire month. And we did it. We lost a good amount of weight during the month. I am very proud of my progress. I am humbled by the work ethic and effort that I put into vlogging a video every single day to show and post results on a daily basis of what I've been eating, how I've been going about it, and that it's working. So now, let me get serious for a minute here. Alright, so here's the deal. I know earlier in this video I had said that I was going to fast cycle my meals, and try to implement intermittent fasting, OMAD one day, 2MAD the next, one meal, 2 meal, 1 meal, 2 meal. That type of thing. I've said that earlier videos, and today I said I was going to try to do 1 meal 2 days a week, but I have decided on something else entirely. I've been reflecting upon this the entire day on how things are going. Got my decaf coffee ready, by the way. Now it would help if I turned the lid in the right direction so I can drink it and talk. There we go. That's more gooder. And I got to thinking that all of this that I've been doing seems familiar. I have said in previous videos that older generations than myself, the boomer generation, which is my parents, and the generation before them, my grandparents, all used to tell us, you can't eat after a certain time of night, and or we would gain weight. We took that to heart as Gen X children. We took that completely to heart, and I can remember doing that very thing, especially in my teenage years when I was more self-aware and conscious of how food affected weight on the body. I did a lot of fasting back in those days to stay thin, to try to, look my best and appear my best, be my best self back then. And I was very successful at it. I wasn't always overweight like I am now. I got comfortable in my life. And I also have circumstances that ordinary people don't deal with. Having 2 autistic children, and I'm not using them as an excuse because neither one of them are overweight. My son is in his mid-20s. My daughter is fixing to turn 16, and both of them are not overweight. Both of them. My daughter, she's got more energy than I know what to do with. That kid is all over the place all the time at 16 years old. That kid, man, she is a mover and shaker for sure. You didn't get it from me. I take that back. Like I said, I'm a Gen Xer, and I was a latchkey child. Back when I was 7 years old, I used to be the first one home. I had 2 older siblings, 2 sisters. One living. My oldest sister is still alive. My youngest sister, which was still older than me, she was my. Both of them were. Let's see. My oldest is 6 years older than me, and the youngest is 5 years older than me. Maybe, not quite 5, but almost 5 years older than me. I think they were born one right after the other. My oldest sister, she's a February baby, and my youngest sister was born the next March. So what does that tell you? Somebody was busy. But my point behind that is, by the time I got into the first grade, they were both in middle school. They were in junior high. And I would be the first one home. So I had to let myself in at, I think it was around 7. I think the first half of my first grade year, I stayed with a neighbor. I'll get more into that in future videos. But I learned a lot from them when they would come home. I'd get home. I didn't live too far from the school. I rode the bus home in elementary school, and I think they still had like 45 minutes to go before their class would let out by the time my bus got me home. Because I think we let out at 2:30. They let out at 3:30. Now, them being junior high school kids, they did not always hurry up to get home, if you catch my drift. But a lot of times they did. Now, they walked home from school. And that's not a bad thing, because we lived in a cul-de-sac neighborhood. It was a straight road, and then there was a road just up above to the right that was also a cul-de-sac, and one down on the left that was also a cul-de-sac. And we lived on the straight road in between those two roads. And at the very end of our road was also a dead end, but this dead end was in front of their middle school. So they literally walked out the front door of the house and into the front door of the school almost. It was not a long walk at all. Not even a mile, not even a quarter of a mile, nothing. You could literally throw a rock from my front yard and hit the schoolyard. That was where they went to junior high. So, with that being that close to the home, school lets out, hey, kids hang out and talk, right? Junior high school kids stop by the house, so. We didn't always have ready-made meals. We had to depend on what our parents bought us. And they would try to buy us simple things like, let's see, TV dinners. We did have a microwave in the late 70s, early 80s, around that era. It was a giant microwave, and it had dials on it. It didn't have this digital stuff that these microwaves have now, but they worked the same. They worked exactly the same. You'd dial your minutes and close the door and start the thing up. So I learned early on how to microwave some food, and we also used the stovetop. Them being junior high school students, they were allowed to use the stovetop, and I learned all of this from them coming up, plus implemented my own type of cooking as they graduated into high school. And by the time they got out of high school, it seemed like I was still getting through elementary school. Yeah, I think I was about in the 5th grade when my sister graduated. I did fail a grade in elementary school, so I spent 1 extra year there. But we invented our own recipes. Some of them I remember, and it was a lot of them actually. And we would eat our own food, and we would make up our own meals uh, using what we had on hand. You know, we didn't always have the best stuff on hand, but we did make up our own meals, and I would like to share those. And my older sisters, you know, they were more calorie conscious. You know, they wanted to. Wow, this is gonna be a long one. They wanted to diet and lose weight because they were in junior high. They had attraction to boys or whatever, you know, that they wanted to look good for, you know. There's nothing wrong with that. When you get into puberty, that's the way things go. I followed suit in my youth, doing the same thing, following the patterns that they left for me to follow. But we made our own food, and they were very calorie conscious of what they put into those foods. All we had to go on back in those days were the food labels, and that's what we went by, and that worked. That worked. That, and we would not eat after 5 o'clock. Now, my family did not do breakfast. We ate lunch at school, which wasn't very much. Back in those times, schools didn't offer breakfast. They just didn't. Now, later in the 80s, when I come along, they offered breakfast to the ones who were car riders and arrived there early. Us bus riders, you know, we just got straight off the bus and had to go straight to class, and it wasn't long the bell rang. We didn't have time for that breakfast. But we didn't eat breakfast. We'd eat lunch there, and then we'd eat whatever was on hand at the house. And like I say, my sisters were calorie conscious. They learned how to count calories. We had our own diet, and we were intermittent fasting, but back then we didn't know that that's what that was called. We had no idea that that's what we were doing. We had no idea. That's just the way life was. People didn't eat after a certain time. I'm sure a lot of, you know, silver spoon kids got to do whatever they wanted. There was some overweight kids back in Gen X. And I became one of them over time. Those rules kind of eased and lifted after a while, but I never forgot them, and I knew that I had to implement them back into my life when I got ready to lose weight and look more presentable for, you know, the female generation. The female gender, not generation, female gender of the species, you know. So that's what I did. I implemented those things, and I was very successful in losing weight doing that, and we had no idea that it was even a thing. So what I'm getting at with this is, and I'm going to end this right here, is there's more layers to me than just junk food eating like I've been doing this past month. And what you see me doing and what I appear to be doing, there's more than that to me. So I am going to do a YouTube channel change for my name. My channel's name is going to reflect more about my generation and the things we did to lose weight. How we implemented calories, what we did on days where we were forced to go out to eat with the parents and we could not implement calories, how we handled that and got back on track, and that type of thing, involving what we did back in Gen X. Because basically this whole month is kind of like that, but without me being a little calorie conscious about what I've been eating. I just been going at it like crazy. So just want to let you know that this was a successful month. What a journey. We lost what we said we were going to lose, and we will see you tomorrow. We're going to have a different name and a different motivation going forward. That's just a little bit about it. Till next time, later.